Spartans! What is your profession?
Every step I took alone, built a kingdom all my own. No more shadows pulling strings. I am light, I am wings.
I walked away, no chains to bind. I left the past, I cleared my mind. The road was rough, the skies were gray, but I broke free, I found my way.
I walked away, I broke the chain, left behind their endless rain. Tried my best to make it fit, but their world wasn't it. Now I'm free, running strong, I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong, I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust.
Freedom's here and I can trust. I tried my best, I gave my all, but their world was too small. They couldn't see beyond their walls, so I chose to rise, not let myself fall.
Saw their ways a hollow sound. No real love was ever found. Left them there where they belong. Now my heart beats twice as strong.
Now I'm free, running strong, I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong, I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust.
Freedom's here and I can trust. Their whispers fade like distant songs. I found my voice where I belong. No anchors now, no shadows stay. I face the sun, a brighter day.
They wanted walls, I wanted skies. I couldn't live their tangled lies. Now I'm soaring, winds at play, dancing light in every way.
Now I'm free, running strong, I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
Now I'm free, running strong, I won't look back where I don't belong. Left their weight in the fading dust. Freedom's here and I can trust.
I'm free, I'm running wild, like the laughter of a child. Free from their weight, I can breathe. This is my time to believe. I'm free, I'm running wild, like the laughter of a child. Free from their weight, I can breathe. This is my time to believe.
What's good? What's good? What's good? How is everyone doing today? Why do I have this little overlap over here? Give me oh my God, give me a second. What a way to start the show. What a way to start the show. See if I can. There we go. All right. Now I'm at peace. Now I am at peace. How is everyone doing today? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully your weekend is going amazing. Hopefully everyone is doing fantastic. I am Teco Drauf. We are engineered to win. Or maybe I will just do my very, very best to annoy you. Yes, I'm talking to you. You to success. So real quick game plan for today. I'm not doing anything on Lovable today on the stream because that takes us about 30 minutes and I want to use those 30 minutes to focus on building out this DevOps, this Terraform. I would like to at least get something terraformed in AWS so that maybe we don't get to the database getting terraformed, but I want to get something terraformed so that we can start with our infrastructure getting it up there. We're probably going to be focusing on that throughout the week because I set a deadline for myself for the end of August. So for today 17th, maybe like another 2 weeks to get this infrastructure up and to hopefully deploy the Lovable application onto our AWS environment. They say that it can be done, but I want to figure out how to do it because that is going to be instrumental to building out these different applications, because I want to say I can host it on AWS, I can host it on Google, I can host it on Azure, I can host it on DigitalOcean, on Vercel. I want to know how to do it so I can decide where I want to host, or if someone says, "Hey, I built this vibe coded app, I want to host it here." I'm like, "Oh, I already know how to do it. I got the blueprint. Let's go ahead. Let's get it done." All right. So today we're going to be focusing on the Terraform work. Do you see how everything comes full circle? We spent almost a year learning how to use Terraform, and now we are putting it to good use. Really good stuff, right? Really good stuff. Let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping to get started. So like I said, we're going to be working on the Terraform stuff for our infrastructure for migrating our Lovable and Supabase application into an AWS environment. I have some topics during our breaks. We're going to be talking about a United Airlines scam. What? Yeah, it is kind of weird. And we're going to be talking about how Claude from Anthropic is preventing harmful conversations. We're going to look into that article as well from TechCrunch. That is our agenda for today. But let me just say, do some quick housekeeping. I just want to say a big thank you to all of the new subscribers on YouTube, the new followers on X and on Twitch. Thank you guys so much. To all those who have been with me for a very long time, thank you as well. I appreciate every last one of you for hanging out with me, allowing me to add some value into your lives in this tech game, so you guys can see how my crazy mind navigates all this tech stuff and soaks up the information and how I put it to use and how I share it with you on how you can put it to use as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And shout out to my tech barbarians, my tech project members, my technical explorers, everyone who is subscribed to the Tech Coach off Patreon, who joins me for our Vibe Code and Chill sessions, who watches the sprint reviews, all of you guys who join and who support. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to add additional value into your lives as well. We are the best.
We the best.
And shout out to my tech mercenaries who allow me, the YouTube members of this channel who allow me to come up on YouTube and spread all of this amazing knowledge to the entire world. I get comments in all different languages. I get views from all different countries because of the auto dubbing that YouTube does, translates the videos into different languages, allowing us to add even more value, more interaction with people from across the globe. Shout out to you guys. Let's get it. All right, really quick. We are planning to go live tomorrow morning, continuing to work on our N8N workflow for our GitHub documentation creator. So the goal is you can pass in the GitHub URL, pass in your understanding level, your technical expertise, and get documentation created based off what's in your GitHub. That's what we're working on. And then we do have candid conversations tomorrow. We are going to be, what are we talking about tomorrow? Tomorrow, it's going to be a really good one. I'm going to give you 5 reasons that you are not getting interviews. And I'm going to give you the 4th reason is going to shock you, all right? But I'm also going to give you a fix. I'm going to give you a fix. Something that you can do to change that around. And now you can start getting interviews like crazy. So tune in tomorrow, noon Eastern time, going to be premiering. candid conversations. Why? 5 reasons why you are not landing interviews. We're going to be talking about that. And then we have Q&A on Tuesday night. So join us for that live Tuesday night tech Q&A, all of that good. So maybe we'll be working on this too on Tuesday night. I don't know. I really need to get this thing done. I set a deadline for myself for the end of August. All right. Let's see. And that is about it that we have upcoming. Let me check the chat really, really quick, and then we will get to work. All right. So we got my guy Junior in the building. Junior says, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's good with you, Junior? Hopefully everything is going phenomenal for you this weekend. We got my guy Pluperfective in the building. What's up, Pluperfective? What's good with you? Pluperfective says, surviving AI, another day not replaced. Well, we'll certainly clap it up for that. It says intro song sounds like two AI about to Oh my goodness. Only you would come up with that. We have T-Sade Speaks says hello to you as well. How are you on the Twitch side of the game? Thank you so much for tuning in on Twitch. I appreciate you. Let's see. Pluperfective says need to learn how to move Lovable to AWS cheaper, better. Are you saying if I move it to AWS it's going to be cheaper? That's interesting. That is interesting. I gotta. We should talk about that because I'm curious about that. I guess it depends on what type of. I will lay out when we get into working on this. I'll tell you what infrastructure I'm going for, and then we'll get some insight from you on that because that'll be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. All right. Okay. So basically, that is about it. I think that we are ready to get to work. Trying to make the most of this time. If we can go for a 4th segment, I will. I don't know if it's possible, but I'll try. I shall try because I really want to make some good progress on this. If I can get maybe something Terraform, maybe the VPC Terraform, I will be happy. All right. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into working on this. Let's get this out the way. So today, migrating Lovable app to AWS infrastructure. That is the theme. That is the goal of today's show. No time like the present. Let's get started. Let me see what before we get started. It says yeah, I can be your solution architect. Good practice for me for work. Hey, if you're offering, I will not turn it down. Shout out to Pluperfective, my guy Ferris. But let me tell you what I had in mind, and you can give me some insight on that. Right. So let's jump into our first 20-minute segment.
It's time to do.
So basically, I created this in Manus. All right. Let's go to share the screen. My prompt in Manus was so this is the prompt. I'm building an engineering metrics dashboard for my company through the Lovable platform. However, one of the key aspects is not hosting it on Lovable and Supabase. I need to have it hosted within our AWS infrastructure, preferably using the AWS ECS cluster. The key to this project is to have the infrastructure set up. So as I hit certain development milestones on Lovable using my own personal GitHub and Jira and GitHub data, I can deploy it to AWS infrastructure so we can pull in company data. I need a step-by-step walkthrough on how to set up the infrastructure at AWS to handle the application, how to containerize the Lovable application, set up any database functions and users that Supabase handles, and set up a pipeline that I can get the app deployed to AWS when needed. I already know how to pull in the code from Lovable into my GitHub repo, and I can publish it to 2 different repositories if necessary. I just need a step-by-step guide on how to accomplish all of that. The main thing is setting up the infrastructure so I can deploy. I would want to do a basic deployment to get started to see if it's available as I continue to develop. So that's my goal. And Manus gave me all the documentation and walkthrough that I needed. If I jump, is there a way I can hide all this stuff? Guess not. Okay. All right. So Manus gave me all the stuff that I needed. They gave me the master migration guide, AWS infrastructure setup guide, Lovable containerization guide, database migration guide, CI/CD pipeline guide, and deployment and testing guide. All right. So they gave me all of that, and we started off with using the Terraform to do the migration, or to do the infrastructure setup. So I always forget which file it's in. All right, so here we are. We have this thing right here. Kind of threw me off. I asked Gemini for some help, and Gemini told me to restructure some stuff. So we'll see. And I already have this part set up, my VPC main. So we have all this stuff set up. We have all this code, all this Terraform code inside of our project. So, and what was happening was we weren't getting any. Last time it wasn't telling us. What was it not telling us? It wasn't seeing any resources to create. So if I jump over to Gemini, I told Gemini the issue that I was having, and I asked Gemini, because there's so many different ways to do Terraform. So I asked Gemini if it's possible to have one variables file that has all the shared variable that's across multiple modules. They said it's not possible for multiple modules to automatically share a single variables.tf. Each Terraform module is a self-contained package. It can't see or access variables declared outside of its own directory. This strict separation, known as encapsulation, is a core design principle that makes modules reusable and predictable. So fair enough. So we have to set up the variables file. So here says the standard pattern pass variables from the root. The most common and correct way to handle this is to declare all necessary variables in your root module, your environment's dev directory, and then pass them as arguments to the child module you call. Think of your root module as your central hub and the child module as spokes. The hub holds all the information and passes only when needed down each spoke, right? Define the variable once in the dev variables.tf file. Set their values once in the environments dev terraform.tf vars. Pass them to each module that needs them in environments dev main. So in environments dev main, we have module VPC source, and then pass in the values, the shared values, dev main, and then module secure. Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to be calling the module.vpc, and then we're saying the source where that module is located, and then we're going to say what is the value for this, for each of these. All right. And then you just follow that pattern for all the other ones. So what I want to do now is get started. Let me see. Other patterns for sharing. Your project has a shared directory, which is perfect for this pattern. You can place common non-sensitive values in a shared file and combine it with an environment-specific file at runtime. So shared common.tf vars, project name, AWS region. In the environments file, shared. In the environment file, environments dev.tf vars, Terraform plan. Okay, so from inside this folder, vf var file, and then so you're passing in two. Okay, so you can pass in two var files. Okay. So I think we can kind of do a hybrid approach of this. So all right, let's go over to this screen now. Okay, so what? Hold on. What screen is this? Give me a second. Sometimes the screen changes on its own. Let me see. All right, there we go. So what we have here now is, where's my mouse? What we have here now is our, so I commented all the other stuff off. So the only one we have right now is the VPC. And pass in the required variables into the VPC. So in my VPC, because I thought I had variables. See, I had variables in there too. I'm gonna move this out for now. And unknown property. I just want to see what's gonna. Why is that? So let me take a look at what Jira is, not Jira, but what Gemini is saying. Variables.tf. Because I am curious. So here, project name. And project name. So they're saying I need the so they're saying, all right, so I need to have the variables in here. The most common way to handle this is declare unnecessary variables in your root module and then pass them as arguments to the child modules you call. So if we have our Terraform vars here, undefined variable, but these are being used, AWS region, the main dot in here, so if we go var.aws, gotcha. So this would be variable AWS region type string description region to create resources. So if we do that and then we go into dev main AWS region, okay, gotcha. So we have that. So if we try to do a Terraform plan and we do, look at Manus, it's like it really feels like Manus is slightly incomplete with what it gave us, but what is this? Variable configuration. So we did that. So if we do here Terraform plan var-file and we do Terraform vars out equals tf plan, too many command line arguments. Oh, should be equal. Terraform plan var file. Oh, dash out. So let's see what we get with this. So if we do that, it would create our VPC. So our VPC will get created. On the wrong page. So I did a Terraform plan. So basically, if we go here, Terraform plan var file Terraform tf vars out, and it would apply that. So now I'm gonna do Terraform apply tf plan. Let's see if we get any errors, right? And if that works, then so it's creating. If that works, then we'll move on to creating the. We'll move on to creating the. What's the next folder? And there's probably a better way to do it, but figuring it out as we go along. So if that were if VPC sets up, then we'll go on to doing security. All right. So while that's happening, I'm gonna start setting up our. I'm gonna start setting this one up. This goes over here. And if we take this right here and we drop it in here, what do we get here? So does everything set? So VPC ID is not there yet. And in order to get the VPC ID, so it's going to be in the output. Okay. Let's see. Where can we get the VPC ID from? The VPC ID is going to be an output. And let me go log into, I'm going to log into AWS while it's being created. Let me get my AWS code. Let's see. Let's see. Where's my mouse? All right, so me log in. I hate the AWS captcha because you can't even read it. And then, like, and then like, what's the purpose of the captcha if I have to put in the multi-factor authentication? That thing really annoys me on AWS. At least like when I'm using Google, like it shares my authentication. Oh snap! My resources have been added. All right. So what is my? All right. Go to. So let's go and check out our resources. I'm gonna go to VPC. And let's see, VPCs. Oh, look at that. Engineering metrics dashboard, VPC. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
All right. So we got that up and running. Next up, we need to do. Next up, we need to do. Oh, so let's keep following the Manus guide. They said to do a Terraform show. I never did that before. Let's do that. I might have did it when I was going through the course, but if you either use it or you lose it. All right, so there goes everything that was created apparently. Now I got to figure out how am I going to get the VPC ID and pass it into the security group. Or so Terraform output. No output. What about the VPC ID? All right, so I need to get the VPC ID. So we're not going to need any of these, but we do need variable VPC ID, I think. Description. It's going to be VPC ID and type. I don't know, string for now. Let's see. Let's close out some of these things. What else is meant? Container port. HTTP from ALB. So maybe we got to do the. Yeesh. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to. Let's take a look at this first. Post deployment validation. I am going to say. So in here, let me see what Manus can do. So I think there is some missing steps in the AWS infrastructure setup guide, as when I tried to do the Terraform apply, or first, I'm going to say, as there were a lot of missing variables for each module, and when I did the Terraform, I'm gonna finish this up first. The Terraform apply, it found no resources. I need, what do I need? I need to make sure that the infrastructure. Oh, so I'm gonna say, shout out to Satya. Shout out to Satya for subscribing. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you.
All right, so I need to. Oh, I was gonna say. It seems that I need a variables file for each module, and I need to get an output. Oh, actually, no, there was outputs for VPC. How do I use those outputs though? I got to check on that, but there is outputs for the VPC. So okay, so all right, and I need to know how to use the outputs from modules into other modules, like the output for the VPC module, VPC ID, and use that in the security main.tf file to pass in, not ask, but to pass in the VPC ID. So I'm gonna send that. We're gonna go to break. I'm gonna check the chat real quick, and then we'll talk about this United Airlines thing. That was a pretty crazy story that I watched this morning with United Airlines. But let me check the chat really quick. Let's see. Pluperfective says, to be honest, if you plan to use AWS, why not just do the CloudFormation? So a couple of reasons, right? I have not used CloudFormation yet. I want to, just haven't gotten around to it yet. The other reason, though, the more important reason is at the company that I work for, we use Terraform. So I'm using Terraform so that I can get more practice and experience in it to use it at my company. And the other thing is, like, even doing it through the command line, through the terminal for Terraform is kind of mixed, because we use the actual Terraform interface thingy, which has its own issues. But that's the main reason that I use Terraform, even though I'm using AWS, because I am trying to figure out, like, when I go to do this at work, what I'm going to be using. I haven't used CloudFormation yet, but it is on my list of things to do. Pluperfective says, kind of extra steps to do this and clean up. Yeah, I hear that. Pluperfective says, Lovable S3 CloudFormation deploying everything across AWS in 5 minutes. What? That is interesting. Another reason that I am also going with Terraform right now is because, in theory, if I wanted to also deploy this to Google, Azure, wherever, it should be minimal modifications, hopefully, to say, all right, what I can deploy here for AWS, let's also deploy it for Google, right? Because what if I offer a service where, hey, let me help you get your vibe coded projects, your Lovable projects into a more stable environment, like, right? And so, well, I use Google. Well, I use AWS. Well, I use Azure. Well, I have this one Terraform template that I can use to pass across different platforms. That's what I think in my mind. Is that the case? I'm not entirely sure, but I hope that's what it is, because that'd be a lot easier. We got the professional in the. I don't know if I've ever spoken to you, the professional, but thank you so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Because Terraform is better than CloudFormation. Not a fan. The professional came with the heat. Pluperfective says, why though? Why is that? And the professional says, no good reason at all. Maybe because I learned it Terraform first, just like I like AWS more than GCP and Azure because I got used to them. That's how I feel sometimes. I try to not be stuck on any particular thing, but I do want to try CloudFormation. I think all of that is, like, not being you don't have to be an expert in all of them, but just that you've tried it and, like, oh, I could pick up on this. But I do think knowing Terraform is good because you're not locked into one platform. I like to be platform agnostic. So I hear what you're saying. Pluperfective says, makes sense. Terraform is more flexible if it's a multi-cloud infrastructure. CloudFormation is only AWS, so limited naturally. Yeah, so that's why I chose to learn Terraform first. Well, no, the reason I chose to learn Terraform first is because that's what my company uses, and I wanted to be able to contribute more to the work that I do. But also Terraform is like can go. I'll tell you this, right? With the at work, we use Terraform to set up infrastructure for our logging software. Like for everything, we use Terraform to set it up. So, but if everything was being done through AWS, then that would make more sense. But yeah, so that's the idea behind it. Let's see. Says the professional says, "Yep, does projects in multiple clouds. That makes a lot of sense." Says, but yeah, good practice across industry is Terraform CloudFormation drag and drop option easy as what? What did you say? There is dragging and dropping in CloudFormation. All right, I'm gonna dedicate a stream to after in September. After I got this thing up and running, and I can see that I can easily get my like whatever I deploy to Lovable, I can just say, all right, deploy to AWS, and I see it working. Then we're gonna try CloudFormation, because if CloudFormation is 5 minutes to set up, then let's go. That's what I'm talking about. You see, the professional's like, what? Wait, just stop, hold up. Did you say drag and drop? Infrastructure with drag and drop? What is going on here? Pluperfective says, I noticed that many companies are dropping AWS. Huh? You think so? For who? I haven't heard that, but well, you definitely have more insight than I would. But that's hard to believe, because it's hard to, I would say it's kind of hard to switch infrastructure, right? You get so embedded in them, it's so hard to switch over. It says there should be an option to take the resources and just put it on a canvas for what connect to connect. Interesting. Let me get rid of that. And it says no, this is my first time. Thank you so much. So happy to have you here. Pluperfective says, I hope Microsoft hires me one day. I'm telling you, these solution engineers ain't loyal. Junior, I'm telling you, these solution engineers, they ain't loyal. AWS wants to make a profit, so dropping people, raising prices, etc. I hear that. I want to make a profit too. I want to make a profit too. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. All right. Okay. Let's jump into this video. I'm curious to hear your thoughts about this as well. But what happened was this guy, he got kind of scammed out of his money. All right. Let me set it up. We're gonna go over here, and we're gonna go over to. All right, let me put that up on the screen. All right, so we're gonna watch this video, right? This guy is going to recap his story with United Airlines, and I'm curious to hear your feedback about it. I really want to know what happened. All right, so let me put up the banner for this one. Was this a United Airlines scam? Was this a scam? Let's find out together.
I think initially, and I can't blame them, I don't think they believed me.
I didn't.
Yeah, it was like, okay, buddy, sure.
When Dan Smoker emailed Steve on your side, he thought he was waiting for a refund from United for a failed attempt at rebooking a flight.
It was going to be 18 days going all over Europe, doing a Mediterranean cruise.
Their flight from DIA to London got canceled, so Dan spent an entire morning on the phone with United trying to rebook. First, he attempted to get United to book his family on a partner airline.
If you pay for the ticket, we'll just refund you.
Dan says the representative named David put him on hold for a while, came back, and said he couldn't book the other flight, but Dan's card was already charged for more than 17 grand. He promised a refund and got the family on another flight.
I got an email from
Now, I don't know about you guys, right? But I personally would not be able to stomach my flight being canceled, and now I just say, well, here's another 17 grand that I'm gonna go and pay to get on another flight to go to Europe. But then again, this is why I stay home. This is why I stay home. I don't like inconvenience. I don't like headaches. I don't like going to places that don't speak English. I don't like none of that stuff. Like, I just stay myself home. I travel within the United States, and because now $17,000 for your family of however many, and let's keep watching.
From the person spelling out exactly what I was getting refunded for.
Months passed and that refund never came. Dan was getting no answers, so he contacted us.
It was actually you that brought up the possibility of it being a scam.
He's right, because when I read that refund email, I spotted red flags almost immediately. Like, the email didn't come from a United email address. The format is weird, some numbers with zeros in front of them, dollars always listed in USD, dates with the day in front of the month. I figured Dan had been taken advantage of. Thought maybe he'd Google the number for United, a common way that thieves trick people. But he didn't.
I was on with United's official customer support number.
Dan's call log shows he only called United's actual customer service line, 1-800-UNITED-1. Even lists a 3-hour phone conversation, the one where Dan says David took that 17 grand.
The more I looked into it, the more clear it became that it was a scam via United's system somehow. How that happened, I have no idea.
Steve on your side contacted United, who told us they have record of Dan's calls that morning.
The one they do have, which is the same as the one that I talked to David for over 3 hours, 3 hours and 18 minutes, they show as a 13-minute call. And they say that at that point, I had dropped off and they don't have any further recording.
But Dan's call log shows that call continued for hours.
I got put on hold by that person. It was a female, and then.
So basically, when I was listening to this, right, what it sounds like happens was he was on a call with United, and the person he was talking to, the lady he was talking to, says, "Oh, let me transfer you over to this person or team or insurance or something like that." And they so I mean, you know how you would transfer a call, the person who's calling is still on the same call, but that call gets sent over to another place. So United is no longer on the phone, but your call to United is still connected. So that's what I'm sensing happened here. The question is, who did he get transferred to?
And the next person to come back was David.
United did tell us the number David left in that refund email called into their call center too the same morning, which makes sense.
David is ultimately the one that got us on the flight via Newark, that got us to London.
Dan's credit card statement shows a bunch of charges marked as United.
What I don't understand, though, here's what I don't understand. How did David get him on the flight via Newark? And what, like, who did the $17,000 go to? It's so weird.
For seat upgrades on the flight they eventually got on. But it also shows that $17,000 charge to a generic company called Airline Fare.
I did dispute the charge with my credit card. You know, it's not even about United paying the $17,000.
Dan just wants to know how he called United and got David.
Nah, I want my 17K. I don't care about the other. I would want my 17,000. I would want my 17,000. I'm just saying.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
A United spokesperson told us that they've been in contact with Dan and they're now reviewing the matter thoroughly, though they wouldn't tell us more about how that call ended up getting to David in the first place. And Dan told us today, the representative he's been working with said that they won't be able to share any details of any security investigations with him. I'm Steve Steger. Steve on your side, 9 News.
Kind of stinks that they can't tell them what they find.
I know, and it seems so sophisticated.
You know, in this case, I got to tell you, I instantly thought, okay, he must have Googled that number, right? Because we've heard about a lot of people who go online and Google, and I'll tell you never to do this, always look at it for a number on a trusted source, who go online and Google and find a phone number and then think they're talking to United, but actually are talking to someone else. In this case, he was talking to United. They have record of him on the phone with United. Then the United told him that it sounds like the call drops. That's the end of that recording. And that's when he says David got on the line and starts talking him through all sorts of different stuff and ends up out $17,000.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's just so many ways to get people anymore. All right, Steve, thank you.
Thank you.
So here's what I think happened, right? I think whoever he was talking to, the lady he was talking to, was she's in on the scam. Or not. So here's what I want to know, right? Because these calls are recorded. They can go and play back the recording and find out who did the original person on the 13-minute call to United, who did she transfer him to? And that should be super easy to figure out. Or because every call should be documented. What was in the logs for that particular call, and what was the resolution? How did the call end? Because on his side it shows a 3-hour phone call. Who did you transfer him to? That's what I would like to know, because that thing, it doesn't just happen just like that. It doesn't happen just like that. And it has to be so many questions, right? So number one, who did she transfer him to? Number two, how was he, David, able to get this guy and his family onto a flight? If it's a scam, how do you get on a flight? You know what I mean? Because he still was able to travel and go have a good time across the world. But he didn't get a refund. Or here's another thing. Here's another possibility, right? As Pluperfective is saying, insider, right? Insider job. So he got put on another flight for free because you don't have to pay for another flight. If your flight is canceled, they're automatically going to take care of it for you, right? You just say go, because when I missed my connecting flight because United first flight was delayed, I just went into the app and I said, all right, change it from this flight to that flight, and boom, it was easy, done. So if your flight is canceled, you should just go into the app or to the website and say, all right, change it from this flight to that flight. What I think happened was she sent him to the other guy, paid $17K, and they're texting back and forth saying, hey, just put him on, this is what I agreed to with him. Do these changes, and that's free of charge on the United system. But he is getting that $17K, and he probably split with her. Definitely insider job. Definitely insider job. Allegedly. Let me check the chat to see what we all think of what's going on over here. Let me see. Sorry. So Plu says, I don't know, sounds suspect. It very suspect. It says, first, why 17,000? So I would say the reason for 17,000 is it's probably the cost of the ticket itself. So what they explained to him was, if you pay for the ticket for a new flight, we will refund you. United will refund you. That's probably where they got him. because it kind of makes sense, right? Like if you want to go like right now on on another airline. So it's like this. So let's say you have tickets to fly for on United for this flight, but for some reason it's canceled. So you say, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna go buy your tickets. I think that kind of happened to me once. It says go buy your tickets with JetBlue, for instance, right? And we will refund you whatever you paid at JetBlue. And now that didn't happen. So that's probably that's probably like what they tricked them with, right? Says bro said he's not trying to hear culture. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I don't like to be inconvenienced. I will stay here and chill. Not. Let me tell you something real quick. Let me tell you something real quick, right? My family, they were in the DR the past week, and this is what they told me. They're trying to use Uber, right? And they say over there you can book an Uber, and then once they actually get to you, like the price that you get in the app is not the price of the actual ride. So once they get there, then they want to negotiate with you the actual price. I was like, what? I'm like, man, the reason that I use Uber is so I don't have to have headaches. So now it's like, so the quote, for example, was like $25 for a trip, and the person gives it, so it's going to be $100. Like, man, I'm like, get out of my face, get out of my face.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So I ain't trying to be in all these headaches in foreign countries with people I don't know, languages I don't speak. I'm like, I'm just gonna chill here in my beautiful, beautiful country. I ain't trying. I don't like headaches. I don't like to be inconvenienced. So, and then Plu says second of why he didn't contact his bank for a dispute. He probably thought he's gonna get a refund. And it's his third of why 3 hours call. Why 3 hours call? I have no answer for that. It says insider threat, probably. It says should have just used the phone app. Should have. It says okay, he put it on his credit card. It's a fraudulent charge. It's reversible. Looks like my question is, why did he wait so long though? Like, if you didn't get a refund within the first couple of days, I'm like, hey, look, something's not right. Waiting months for it. Maybe he got it like that. Says I'd make my million right there if it was me. And I think two things. Insider threat. So he was transferred, but there would be a log of a transfer, or there is a hacker in their system and they hijacked the call when mid-switch. He said though that the person he was speaking to actually transferred him to somebody. So I don't know that it is a weird situation. I would really want to listen into the call to see what exactly happened. Says sometimes I want to be a cyber criminal to be honest. No, you don't. 17K ticket was wild. I mean, if it's like 3 or 4 people traveling to Europe on United, let me tell you another thing. My dad was flying United to Canada like 2 weeks ago. And have you guys heard of Clear? The like how to get through whatever security stuff faster. And here's the story that they told me happened, right? And they disputed this with the bank, but they said that there was no receipt given. They didn't tell them how much it was going to be charged, and then on the credit card statement, a $300 charge, $300 charge. No receipt, no nothing. And the bank was like, yeah, this is weird. So let me do some quick let's do some quick research real quick, right? We're going to do some quick research. Let me go over to here. Hold on. I don't know why this thing does this. Give me a second. And we're gonna go to sometimes. All right, let's change that to. Okay, so let's go to. Let me see. How much does Clear cost? The cost of Clear membership varies, but it generally costs $189 per year for general members. However, discounts are available for those airlines, status, or certain credit cards, bringing the cost down to $159 or even free. Additionally, a family plan is available at an extra charge of $125 per person, allowing up to 3 additional family members to join. So it's $189 per year. Clearme.com. But like I said, I do not travel. $209 for an individual per year. $209 plus $125 per person for family is $209 plus $125 per person. Add up to 3 adults to your account. Bundle with TSA PreCheck. Get 5 years of TSA PreCheck for $79.95. I gotta ask some more questions because that was a weird situation. Anyways, over here, and let's see. It says I'm being cheap, so they're not street. Who's not street smart? Let's see. Clear. It's a legitimate company, but you have to scan your face and fingerprints and scan your passport to even enroll. So it was weird because he said he was at the airport. Said, "Hey, you want to go faster? Go to Clear," but then he saw a charge. He probably didn't know what he was paying for, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna ask some more questions, but it was weird. No receipt, no nothing. But who knows? It says $300 a year sounds about right to skip the line. Yeah, that makes more sense now. It makes more sense now, but when they just saw like a one-time charge come up for $300 and they didn't have any receipts and stuff like that. So I don't know. But then again, my dad, he be doing some weird stuff. So he probably got the TSA PreCheck plus Clear. Probably. I don't think Clear is worth it. TSA PreCheck is to not take out the damn laptop. It's funny. It's funny though, because depending on the airport that I go to, sometimes I have to take out the laptop, take off my shoes, and some like nope, just leave it in the bag and you're good to go. The TSA they do not have it changes from airport to airport. Anyways, let's get back to work. All right, let's jump into our next 20 minutes.
Let's go!
All right, so we are on Manus, and I told Manus the issue that I was having. Says you're absolutely right. I apologize for that oversight. The Terraform modules I provided were missing crucial variables, .tf files, and proper module interconnection. Let me create the complete Terraform structure with the missing pieces, including variable files, outputs, and proper module dependencies. I'll provide you with the complete variables.tf for each module, proper output .tf files to pass the data between modules, a root main.tf that properly connects all the. Okay, that's what I needed. Oh God. All right, I'm gonna tear down my infrastructure then. Let me go and tear down my infrastructure because we're gonna do it that way. Let's do Terraform destroy. And give me a second. Let's go in here and do that again. So I'm going to destroy the infrastructure, and we're going to go over here to get it done right. Okay. So we're gonna need the variables, outputs, Terraform, and the backend for each. So that's gonna be our structure. I'm just gonna do the dev for now. And let's see. And then modules, everything for each of those. Sweet. All right, so let's get started with this one, variables.tf for our networking. Let's go. So I am going to do like we did last time. I'm going to put them next to each other so I can just copy and paste and we don't have to switch back and forth to a bunch of different screens. Let's go to here. Let's go here. See how that looks. All right, it should be good. Let's go with that. And we want to go to, there we go. So, this stuff is good like that. We are going to go, so let's do our networking.tf. Do I have a folder for networking? I don't. Why don't I have a networking folder in here? Hold on, let me see. Networking, security, database, ECS, monitoring. So it looks like they took off the, so all right, they renamed the ALB to networking for some reason. Let's see. I guess I could leave it as ALB. I don't know. Wait a second. What are they doing? Hold on. They're reworking the, okay, they're reworking the, okay, so let me just scroll through this real quick, right? So now they're doing network. So they're combining the VPC and the ALB, are they? Then we have security outputs. Then we have our ECS. Environment. Okay, whatever. We will do that. Let's go with deleting these two. And let's do a new directory. We'll call that networking. And inside it, so let's start from the beginning. Let's go to networking module. Let's copy the variables.tf file, new Terraform variables. Drop that. Outputs. New Terraform file. Outputs. Got that. And then, where's the module? We got the variables, but where's the actual, we got, hold on a second. So where's the main.tf file? Hold on. That's a problem. Because I don't see the main.tf file in the freaking documentation. Hold on, give me a second. Got the output. Got the variable. Security, okay. Database, okay. Outputs, okay. Got this main.tf. Okay. 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 Deploy. .tf. Let's see what we got going on here. So they say that we're supposed to get a main. All right. So I'm going to say that this is annoying. Go over here. View monitoring module. Okay, so the main.tf file was not included for any of the modules. Oh God, so annoying. How to let me be good. Let me be good. I don't want Rod Brown to come up in here and make me contribute to the swear jar. But that's annoying. That is annoying. Oh, good old AI. I just forgot to give you the main.tf. You know, that's no big deal at all.
How dare you?
We'll get it. So the first time they gave me all the main.tf but no variables, no outputs. But then this time they give me all the variables and the outputs but no main.tf. Where they do that at? You just can't get everything. You just can't get everything, right? Okay. I'm okay. I promise. I'm going to keep my... that's whatever. Can always get it back. While that's happening, I'm going to go and look at this. Security. Let's get our variables in there. Security module might not even be the same at this point. So variables.tf. Outputs. New. Terraform file. Output. What else we got? Did they have one for RDS? Database. Variables. That's not what I wanted to do. New. Variables. All right, so networking.main.tf. Let's jump into that one. New Terraform file, main. All right, so we got that. Security main.tf. Okay. So we need to do both of these. So if I go to I think I did this one already, security, variables. Yep, did that one, and security output. All right, so we'll go through each of these. Let me rename that new directory, or not new directory, but refactor, rename, database. Keep it as that. Refactor, main, variables. Output, new Terraform, output. Got that. We'll go back and do those after. ECS module. Variables for ECS. New variables. And outputs for ECS. Go here, we'll do output, new output. All right, we got that. Now we will go to the new file that was created. The main modules, we're going to say networking main. We got that one already. Security main, let's get that one in there. Okay. Database main, let's get that in there. Not seeing any errors, so that's good. Module ECS main, let's get that in there. And what is this? Additional updates. You'll also need to update the security module variable to include the private subnet ID. Add to Terraform security variables. Security variables. Let's add. Oops. Let's add that one. Ooh. Oh, that already exists. Okay. So if it exists or not, let me see. Navigate to duplicate. Or where is that duplicate though? It says that variable private declared multiple times. Where else is it declared? Huh. Okay. Well, I'll take it off for now, but weird. Okay, there we go. Update security module in your environment main.tf. In your environment main.tf. Okay, so we'll revisit that if necessary. Let's go back to this one, and we need to go to our development environment. So here we're going to go to the main here. And of course, okay, there goes the variables.tf. We got that. Let's see, anything else? TF vars. Got that. TF vars. Backend.tf. I'm gonna go. Okay, so it has its own backend.tf. New. Backend. Let's do that. Yes, East 1. Okay. Outputs over here. Output. Or just do this one. Okay. Anything else? Deployment instructions. AWS S3 MB. I think we already have that though. Bucket. What's the bucket name? Bucket. So I am going to copy this into the other one. What if I copy this into here? All right, so we did everything. We shouldn't have to do this again. Let's do AWS S3 API put bucket versioning -- bucket, and the bucket would be this one, and versioning configuration status equals enabled.
Lunch break, lunch break.
Okay, that took. Create a DynamoDB table for, so we already did that. And we would do, let me try another Terraform init here. I didn't create the monitoring folder. All right, let's do that. We will go back and let's work through this real quick. Let's go and do the directory for modules, because if I can get this to kick off, that'll be cool. Let's go to monitoring before going to break. If we can kick this off. Okay, so where is monitoring? So the variables.tf for monitoring is going to be that. And then the main, oh, they gave me the main .tf for that one. Let's go to main.tf. Got that. And then the output, I suppose, is going to be new Terraform output. All right, so now if we were to do Terraform init again, could not retrieve the list of available versions for provider, locked provider registry, does not match configured restraint, must use Terraform init upgrade to allow selection of new versions, to see which modules are currently pending on HashiCorp AWS. Okay. Check the main files real quick. Why would you do that? .9? Are all of them gonna say that? No. Okay, let's try that. All right, good to go. Okay, so now if we were to do our deployment prereqs, and we do this command, I like to type it out. Let's go to Terraform plan var file equals var file equals Terraform. Okay, you don't want to autocomplete. That's cool. Dev Terraform .tf vars. Unsupported argument. Deprecated attribute. In resource AWS task definition, main AWS logs region, data.aws region.current name. The attribute name is deprecated. Refer to provider documentation for details. Okay. Unsupported argument in modules ECS main.tf line in resource AWS ECS service. Maximum percent equals 200. The argument is not expected here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paste that into Gemini. I'm gonna paste when we come back. We'll paste it in Gemini, right? Let's go to break. But now that we are this close of being able to launch this, getting these errors, good things. If we can get this whole thing to launch, we shall be in great shape, and then we can go to then maybe Tuesday or Thursday we can get to, if we can get the infrastructure up quickly, great. Can tear it down today, bring it back up before next show, and then we can go to start trying to deploy. That's the goal. That is the goal. We shall see. But we are at break. I'm going to check the chat, and then we will get to our next topic about Anthropic and Claude. All right, so let's go to, let's see. Where did we leave off? All right, so let me see. We are, all right, so we were talking about the TSA rules, and Plu says, yeah, the rules are it's. I'll be so happy. Like, okay, you go through this machine. You don't have to take out your laptop. Yada yada yada. And then you get to another airport, and it's like, oh yeah, we need your laptop. I think the older, smaller airports still follow the older rules. I don't know. Let me see. He says, so stupid. It is. And says, God forbid I bring a 200 mAh power supply. They treat me like I'm about to do something and wipe my hands for. You can't say residue. Let's see. It says, maybe it's my Arabic name. Doesn't help. Is your name just? Is there like? Do you have another name other than Ferris? Is Ferris like that out of the wild? Says I definitely have the TSA pre-check. No shoes off. No laptop out. Nor cameras. Nor drones. All stay inside the bag. That is awesome. Because that's one of the. I don't like to travel because I'm like I don't like to be inconvenienced. I really don't like to be. When they say, all right, take off your shoes, I'm like, okay. And they're like, oh, take off your. One place says, oh, you don't have to take off your watch. Oh, you don't have to take off your belt. The other one is like, oh yeah, take everything off. Take everything off. I'm like, I mean, are you going to at least throw a few dollars at me?
Money. Hey.
It's a thing. It says I bring 3 laptops and I get the side eye. I normally have 2 laptops: my work laptop and my personal laptop when I travel, and I mainly travel for work. The last 2 times I've flown, it's been for work. Let's see. It says, are these work or personal laptops? Both. And it says I never get asked any questions. You're the man. It says plus the iPad that I carry also. Now Junior is just bragging. You're just bragging now. And we got my guy Rod Brown in the building. Do you notice, Junior? As soon as I said I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna curse because Rod Brown's gonna show up and say, hey, you said a bad word. You got to put it in the swear jar. I'm like, but I was annoyed. I was really annoyed because how are you gonna give me half the work 2 times? I'm telling you, they'd be trying to take up my. You know, I'm gonna play the song at the end of the show about. I don't like what they're doing to me. All right. Had someone said, I need to pat you down and grow. They did what? I'm like. He's so silly. It says that's why Clear plus CSA pre-check might be worth it. To be honest, skip all the BS for $300 a year. I honestly don't travel that much to have to pay for that, but my dad does travel that much, so maybe that's what they paid for. I have to revisit that. It says, bro, I want to do deployment at work and not AI slop. Remind me, what is it that you're doing over there? What is it that you're doing there? Because I don't remember what your exact position is. What is it? Are you working on the AI side of things? Or are you working on solutions and engineering side of things? This question, guys, if you were hired as one thing, but now you have to upskill to data engineer level work that's not your field, would you switch departments? If I got hired to do one thing and then I had to upskill to do something else, I would try at least. I see it in 2 ways, right? Definitely try to level up inside of your own company if possible. Still learn the stuff that they want you to learn, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to be transferable to other companies as well. But now if they're giving you a hard time to actually get out of your department for whatever reason that they give, take those skills that you learned and try to apply it to other companies or that might also need those skills. But take the opportunity. I always say take the opportunity. That's how I see it. Is they basically have me as a data engineer for support without the pay.
They believe in us.
like I said, take the knowledge and then apply it to a place that actually wants to give you the pay. But that's how these companies be. That's how these companies be. Because I'm changing my name to Junior. I might have to do the same thing too. It says different airports have different programs. They don't go across all airports. Yeah, isn't Clear like not available in all airports as well? I'm guessing. It says he came. You see, I was this close. I would have been in trouble. I would have been in trouble. Plu says cloud support engineer, big data. So basically, junior solutions architect, but specifically in big data, machine learning, and AI. I know the deployment stuff sounds really, really good, but if I were you, I would probably stay in the machine learning and AI and level up in that, because there is a tsunami coming for machine learning, AI, RAGs, retrieval augmented generation, MCP, model context protocol. There is going to be a big wave, and this coming Wednesday on our software explorations, concept and overviews, I'm going to be reviewing, not necessarily reviewing, right? Maybe it's previewing Kiro.dev. Are you able to give me? All right. You know what? I'm not gonna ask here. But are you able to get me that? I just put it like that. Plu. Are you able to get me one of those keys? Because I'm previewing Kiro.dev, AWS's vibe coding tool. Not necessarily vibe. It's like their version of Cursor. But there's a wait list and you need to get a key to get access to it. I want to try it out to see how it works. But yeah, that's basically it. All right. Let's get into this other topic really, really quick, and then we'll get back to our last segment of work. I don't think we're going to make 4 because the United one took a little bit longer than expected, but we're close. We are close. But let's talk about Claude ending abusive conversations. What is going on over here? Let me throw up 5 minutes for this conversation. All right, so Anthropic says some Claude models can now end harmful or abusive conversations. My question is, why not all models, right? Why only some? Why not all models? Let's see. So let me zoom in on this a bit. Okay, so Anthropic has announced new capabilities that will allow some of its newest, largest models to end conversations in what the company describes as rare, extreme cases of persistently harmful or abusive user interactions. Are people bullying Claude? Are they saying mean things to Claude? Now, I have been tempted every now and then to say something really, really mean and inappropriate to Lovable, because when I ask it to, you guys know the song. You guys know the song. I asked you to do one thing, one job. You had one job, and you just blew everything up. I'll probably play that at the end of the show. Do I have that one here? Maybe I do. But anyways, because sometimes these large language models be killing my vibe, right? Anyways, I digress. Says, strikingly, Anthropic says is doing this not to protect the human user, but rather the AI model itself. That is so sweet. Aww. To be clear, the company isn't claiming that its Claude AI models are sentient or can be harmed by their conversations with users. In its own words, Anthropic remains highly uncertain about the potential moral status of Claude and other large language models now or in the future. However, its announcement points to a recent program created to study what is called model welfare. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. Y'all gotta stop being mean. You guys think you're gonna go run up on these large language models and talk to them however you feel. Remember when Rod Brown asked me, what do I think about falling in love with a large language model? And I responded, well, It depends on how she looks.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
Now, Anthropic is saying you're going to stop being rude and disrespectful to our large language models. Put some respect on the name of our large language models, all right? So there you go. There you go, Rod Brown. It says, and it says it's essentially taking a just-in-case approach, working to identify and implement low-cost interventions to mitigate risk to model welfare in case such welfare is possible. So basically, you're not going to be digitally domestic violencing these models. So, and it's probably going to say, do you want to talk about this? Like, I see you're getting aggressive right now. Do you want to talk about this? Do we need to take some time to cool off and maybe we can revisit the conversation? That's what I see. It's about to happen. This latest change is currently limited to Cloud Opus 4 and 4.1. And again, it's only supposed to happen in extreme edge cases. My question is, if somebody is getting Cloud Opus 4 and 4.1, are they really going to be talking to them like that? Such as requests from users for sexual content. What in the world? Involving minors in attempts to solicit information that would enable large-scale violence or acts of terror. Jesus Christ! So on Friday's episode of the Bug Bite, we're going to be reviewing an article about an internal Facebook memo that allowed their chatbots, Meta's chatbots, or internal Meta memo that allowed their chatbots to have romantic and sensual conversations with kids. And now it looks like Cloud Opus is like, all right, we are doing everything impossible to stop all this from happening, okay? While those type of requests could potentially create legal or publicity problems for Anthropic itself, witness recent reporting about how ChatGPT can potentially reinforce or contribute to its users' delusional thinking. That's really bad. The company says that in pre-deployment testing, Cloud Opus 4 showed a strong preference against responding to these requests and a pattern of apparent distress when it did so. So it's like,
Get a move on, back to work, chop chop, let's go. Come on, get a move on. Back to work, back to work, back to work.
So it sounds like Opus 4 is like, why are you talking to me this way? Or who gonna check me, boo? Maybe that's 4.1 that's going to say, who gonna check me, boo? As for these new conversation ending capabilities, the company says in all cases, Claude is only to use its conversation ending ability as a last resort when multiple attempts at redirection have failed and hope of a productive interaction has been exhausted, or when a user explicitly asks Claude to end a chat. Anthropic also says Claude has been directed not to use this ability in cases where users might be at imminent risk of harming themselves or others. Can Claude just call the police? There should be a system, like if you're having a conversation with somebody who is about to do harm to themselves or other people, get their IP address, send it to the authorities, and have them looked into. We need a AI task force to protect people from themselves, right? If they think they're going to harm other people or themselves, trigger an alert to however they're going to do it, and the authorities should be alerted immediately and be sent out to make sure that this person is not a threat, right? When Claude does end a conversation, Anthropic says users will still be able to start a new conversation from the same account and to create new branches of the troublesome conversation by editing their responses. We're treating this feature as an ongoing experiment and will continue refining our approach, the company says. Shout out to Anthropic caring about the well-being of their AI large language models, all right? Hopefully they care for their employees the same way. Let's see what the chat thinks about this, all right? Let me see. Perfective says, yeah, I'll try to stick it out and learn. Is just a lot in a big infrastructure and by myself, 100% by myself. When you are the only one, it's tough, but you will learn a lot. It says, I'll do a crappy job at work since I'm not a data engineer. It is what it is.
They ain't believing us.
It says Grok AI avatar got people feeling a type of way. What happened to Grok AI avatar? I have to look that up. I'm not familiar with the Grok AI avatar controversy. It says I like my real women. Hey, everyone has their preferences, I guess, right? People got sad when ChatGPT went from 4.0 to 5. Their relationships got deleted.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Sucks. It sucks. But that is no different than if you got ghosted by a real person and now you thought you had something real. You done paid $17,000 for them to take a trip to Europe, and then you try to text them and say, you say, and then you text them, right? Like you pay for them to go to Europe, and then you text them. It says, Grand Rising Queen, and then you get no text back for 3 to 4 months. But you're still hopeful. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened with the guy. Maybe he paid for someone to take a flight, $17K. He texted them Grand Rising Queen, and he got no response. Perfective says, this is weird, not gonna lie. Wait till Friday. Wait till Friday when you see it all kind of like, because last week we spoke about the Instagram location on last Thursday. On Friday, I'm going to be talking about Meta's policies, their AI policies for their chatbots and the type of conversation that they could have with children. I was blown away. I have to send, you know what? I'm going to send the link to Rod Brown as well, because he might be able to review that from a different perspective as well. I'm looking at it from a tech parenting, cybersecurity type perspective. Rod Brown might have it from a parenting and biblical perspective, right? It says, imagine your son coming home and saying he got a girl and shows you his phone. It says, maybe I'm wrong. In the 50s, it was against the ratio. In the 80s, it was against the and in 2020s, it will be against AI. Maybe I will become more tolerant. Who knows? So I will say this: I can't get fired. Only 4 people doing it at my job, and 3 people plan to leave. That means you will be the lead data engineer for the company. All right, that's basically what it means. Right. Anyways, let's get one more segment in. Let's get one more segment into the books, and then we'll wrap it up. All right.
It's time to do.
All right, so we are over here. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to say, let me copy my errors. I'm going to paste it into Gemini. Let's go over here. I'm going to say I tried a Terraform apply. The Terraform code originally provided was for version 5 of HashiCorp AWS provider. I upgraded the version to 6.9.0 when I did my Terraform plan, I got these errors. Can you point out how to fix them? Let's see what we get with that. Hopefully that can fix us, because if I can get this Terraform apply to work and all of our infrastructure set up, we will be on cloud 9, perfectly set up for our next steps. So while that's happening, I'm going to be reading. So that should take care of that. Not worrying about production. Probably AWS best person. All right. So, of course, these errors are common when upgrading AWS provider from version 5 to 6 due to significant but straightforward breaking changes. So the old code for provider v5 maximum. All right. The new code is deployment type, or add this required block for rolling updates. These arguments are now top level. Oh, okay. So let's copy this. And let's go over to here, and that's going to be inside of our ECS main file. Let me see, maximum. All right, so this is unknown. All right, so we're going to go to here. Unknown property, maximum percent. That is top level. Initialize module directory. What does that mean? Resource AWS, and make sure I'm in the right place. If I take this off and I go to I don't know why it says that. Resource AWS. Deployment maximum percentage. So is it this? So what if we go, all right, let me go over here, and I'm going to search for in Terraform when let's see, AWS 6.9 provider. Okay, so it's now deployment maximum and deployment minimum. Okay, cool. So we are gonna do this and that. I don't know why Google didn't give me the updated one, or why Gemini didn't give me the updated one, but it's all good. Let's go back over here. AWS deprecated the problem attribute.name in the module ECS main. Inside, so if we go to AWS region, inside the log. All right, so ECS main, inside log configuration block. Okay, after current. All right, so if we search for this, okay, I see what you're saying. So if we go over to here, because they don't use name anymore, so this should be ID. Okay, that one is done. Was it just those two? All right, so if we look at, so this one, we got that fixed. We got that fixed. We got that fixed. All right, cool. So let's do another Terraform plan. Let's see if this goes through. Oh. Got a bunch of other deprecated stuff. But everything did go through. Let me go and fix this one as well. Monitoring.main. I don't want any deprecated stuff in there. Monitoring.main. That should be ID. Let's see if we do that again. What other errors? Okay, let's just search for all of these. All right, let's do ID. ID. Okay, do that again. Trying to get rid of all the deprecated stuff. That is inside of the outputs. Okay, outputs. And that's inside of monitoring output. Okay, so just cleaning it up. Okay. Okay, so that one is done. Oh my God, there's still some more. Security.main. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Dot name. So let's go here. ID. 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 All right, so that should take care of all of them, right? So I just searched for all of them. Replace. Let's see what we get. All right. You didn't use out to save this plan, so let's do dash out equals tf plan. Do that. Okay, so now we're gonna do Terraform apply tf plan. Make sure there wasn't anything else I had to do with that. Let me go check the older file. Terraform deployment. And when we did it here, we just did apply TF. All right, cool. Let's do that. And if this infrastructure gets set up, then that will be super duper cool for us. It's on its way. I'm gonna go take a look at AWS to see things be happening. Let's go here. Refresh. All right, so the VPC that we had created before, it's gone now. We should be getting a new one. Right now it's doing the VPC endpoint for ECR. Let me go check let's navigate around, see what we got going on here. Let's go and look at, I want ECS, Elastic Container Service. Nothing yet. AWS secure. All right, so let's take a look at security. security groups. Subnets, your VPCs, NAT gateway, NAT gateways. Okay, look at that. Okay, so our NAT gateways are created 1, 2, and 3. That's good. So while that's happening, while it's doing its thing, I'm going to take a look at our next steps, right? So after this is done, this is for cloud formation, post-deployment validation. All right, you got that. After infrastructure deployment, comprehensive validation ensures that all components are functioning correctly and ready to host the migrated Lovable application. This validation process includes connectivity testing, security verification, and performance baseline establishment. Verify that the network routing, security groups, and load balancer configuration are working correctly. Test connectivity between different tiers of the application and ensure that internet access is available where needed. I'm not sure how I would do that. Validate that the RDS instance is accessible from ECS tasks and that database credentials are properly stored and retrievable from AWS Secrets Manager. I'm not sure how I would actually do that. Maybe I'll ask it. Monitoring and alerting set up. Okay. Let's go to, all right, so let's go to so look at some more documentation. This is the containerization guide. Step-by-step deployment. Let's take a look at the step-by-step deployment and testing. Phase 1 infrastructure deployment. We did that already, so that's what we're working on now. Oh, that's interesting. You could set up this here. So if we didn't do the, I don't know. Let's see. I guess you could write a bash script to do the whole thing for you. Maybe we'll do this later. Deploying ECS infrastructure. So the way that they have it here is they're doing it all one by one. All right, so that's cool. So this is the okay. All right, so that's that part. Let's take a look at let's take a look at the containerization guide. Because what I really want to do is get the infrastructure set up, right? And then once the infrastructure is set up a Docker image of the application, even if it's not like done, and have it started up inside of our infrastructure. Docker file creation and optimization. So Docker file for Lovable React application, multi-stage build for optimal image size. We're going to say the node version, Nginx version, use node.js Alpine image for building. Oh, we have an error. Let's see what happened. So, okay, that's not, let me see. Error with, we got all the way to creating the RDS DB instance. Operation error, create DB instance, API, invalid parameter combination, cannot find version 15.4 for Postgres. Okay, that's fair. And then we had, those are not bad errors to have. Specified log group already exists. Resource exists. Okay, cool. So let me go, I'm going to copy these two errors. And we're going to go back over here. And we have, let me check. Does my VPC exist? Where's my VPC? Why didn't my VPC create? Was I not supposed to delete my VPC? All right, we'll create. Let me see something. No, I have a VPC ID over here. So why don't I have a VPC created? Oh, did it create in US West? Wait, that's this. Oh, that's what happened. That's what happened. It created the infrastructure in US West instead of US East. Well, we'll leave it as US West for now. But if I go over here and I change this to US West 2 in Oregon, I should have my VPC showing up. Fair enough. I can always switch that. No biggie. But let me go ahead and paste the errors that I got. Gemini. All right. So most of my infrastructure got created, but I got these 2 errors. Can you help me fix it? But like I've been saying, right? You don't have to be an expert in these technologies with the help of AI, because you're going to need. You should be an expert at troubleshooting, but you don't need to be an expert in how they necessarily work. But because I'm not an expert in Terraform, I'm not an expert in databases, I'm not an expert in React, I'm not an expert in ECS, but I'm able to. But being that I have some knowledge of them, I'm able to troubleshoot my way into getting things to work. All right. The error invalid can't find version 15.4 means AWS already doesn't offer that specific minor version. AWS supports a specific subset of minor versions for each major release. Find the available version. You get a list. All right, so let's copy this. You should choose a recent. All right, so I'm gonna drop that inside of update your step 2. Update your variables. Okay, so let me do that command. Let's do 15.4, I guess. So that would be inside of our Terraform. Maybe at one point they offered it. 15.4. We'll go with 15.14. And then for the
lunch break.
For the log group already exists, the error resource already exists, means Terraform is trying to create a log group that already exists in your AWS account. This typically happens if a previous apply created the resource but failed before it could save the success. Run the import command. All right, let's try to do this import command. Let's go to Q. Let's do the import command. Okay, the import was good. So now we do Terraform plan. Or just do the same from before. So now it should say that is going to create our database, I hope. Plan 5, 2 to change. So we're going to do our monitoring. Database. There should be one for database in here somewhere. There goes our database, right? Yep, database. Sweet. All right, let's go ahead and do the apply.
And let's see if we can get our database set up, and we will be rolling. All right, so while that's doing this thing, let's go back to reading this. So we're going to set up our Docker file. It's going to be using Nginx, Node, Node version 18.18. I would like to use. We'll confirm that. We'll see what version Lovable's Node is using. Working directory, copy package files first for better caching. Install dependencies with npm CI for reproducible builds. Build the application. Do all that stuff. Health check. Nginx configuration for single page application. Where's that going to go? But like, you see how I can take what I can get so far with Manus, right? But then I can put in particular error messages inside of Gemini, and it helps me with that. Let's see. Environment variable management. Create environment template. Okay, so this is going to be a Docker entry point file. This is going to be, okay, Docker file with variable support. But where do you actually do the containerization? Yeah, I'll figure that out. This database is still. Let me go check to see if the database is actually creating or not. Let's go over here. Let's go to here. RDS maybe. Let's go there. Databases. Oh, look at that. Our database is being created. Let's go. Let's get it. Let me click on it, see what's going on. Has everything it needs. Cool. I will shut this down. I don't know how much it's going to cost, so I'll shut it down. Once we're done here, I will do a Terraform destroy. Next show, I will have it up and running. We have our Terraform dev environment set up. We are winning. Let's see. But yeah, this should have been in US East 1. That is what I'll do after I tear it down. I will upgrade, or I'll change my variable file to do it in US East 1 because that's the region that I always use, and we'll go from there. But while it's creating, let's go and take a look at over here. So this is doing the Docker file. All right, so let me keep looking. Lovable application containerization, database migrate. So I would say we would do the containerization first, see if we can deploy it to ECS. Database migration guide, understanding Supabase architecture and services. Schema analysis query to identify potential migration issues. Where would you do that query against? Okay. Data volume performance baseline establishment. Where are these running? Is this good? Are these going to be things that we do in AWS RDS? Okay. see. So real-time capabilities require most complex service mapping since AWS doesn't provide direct equivalent. So we will need, so Postgres will be using RDS, migration, low direct compatibility, minimal changes required. Supabase and Auth and Amazon Contigo. We might be able to get around this if we are. Got to think about that. Requires application code changes and user migration. The user migration, not a big deal. Have new users sign up, but the curious about the application code changes. Real-time subscriptions, AppSync, Kinesis, no direct equivalent, requires architectural changes. Okay. Storage, API changes required, but straightforward migration. Edge functions, AWS Lambda, medium code adaptation requirement. Row level security, custom authorization logic must implement an application or API layer. Sounds like it's going to be a pain in the butt, to be honest with you, but let's see. But we'll see how far we can get. See if we can get something working. Why is this database still being created? It says it's here. Anyways, I will let you know if this database actually ends up getting created. I can see it. I can see it in my AWS, but who knows? Oh, actually no, it says status, configuring, enhanced monitoring. All right, so it's still going through. But what I'll do is I'll let this keep running and I will keep you posted on the results in the Discord and on Tuesday night as we continue working on this. We are making great progress. Our infrastructure is set up. Now we actually got to figure out how to actually do all the migration steps. What are the code changes that are needed? All of that good stuff. We shall see. We shall see. All right. But we are going to wrap it up for today. We had a great, productive show. Let me check the chat one last time and then we'll get out of here. Thank you so much to our sponsor, resumeflow.app. Get your resume analyzed against the ATS. Tells you how does it look to the ATS? What are the strong points? What are some things that are missing? Are you being repetitive or is it hard to understand? Then after you get your resume right, then you can go ahead and say, hey, I'm interested in applying for this job. And you will put in either the link to the job or the job description. It will compare your resume to the job, shows you how well you match up to the job. What are you missing? What are your strong points? Give you a score, and then you can say, all right, I want to save this job. I want to apply for this job, and then it can help you track your resume or track your application process. Once you get to the interview stage, because you will get interviews. Once you get to the interview stage, you can say you mark it as interviewing, and it'll tell you, do you want some interview questions for this upcoming interview? And you can say yes, and it'll give you 40 questions, 20 based on your resume, 20 based on the job description. It'll classify it as behavioral questions. What's the level of or behavioral or technical questions? What's the level of difficulty? And then you'll be so much more well prepared, because the goal at Resume Flow is not to just mass apply, not to apply and pray, but it's to apply smarter, right? Still pray, but don't waste your prayers by not being properly prepared for the job you want. All right. So shout out to Resume Flow for sponsoring this video today. We truly, truly appreciate all of your hard work and your effort. Do me a favor, if you have not done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, go to TechCulture.dev. Get all of the amazing access to our vibe code and chills. Join our upcoming one next Saturday. See the past ones from last Saturday. I posted it late Thursday night. See the sprint review that we're going to be having tonight. Going to be sharing that into the. I'm going to be posting the replay on Patreon during the week, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, one of those days, I'll be posting it, and you can see all this, you can see how we actually work in a tech environment. And if you want to be part of it, then message me on Patreon, and I can help you join and level up to get some real tech experience under your belt. All right. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Let me see. We got Pluperfective says, yeah, lead, I guess, dealing with all this stuff every day. It says, I think 200K minimum at this point. That would be super awesome. It says, if Terraform goes through the first time, I would be shocked. It was this close, though. It was this close. Very, very close of going through the first time. Just minor issues, right? And I think it finished. Sweet, it did finish. All right, we'll take a quick look at that. And it says RDS. Yep, we're using RDS. Let's see. Post a Terraform in the Discord. What I'm gonna do, I am going to. How should I do this? I don't want it to be public. I don't want it to be a public repo, but I will push it up as a private repo, and I'll send you an invite. I'll post a link to the private repo in the Discord, but you have to send me an invite, or you have to send me your your GitHub username, and I will send you an invite so you can have access to see to clone it. All right. I don't want to make it public, so there's that. All right. Let me see. Anything else? Nope, that's it. That is it for today. What a great show. What a great. Oh, before we go, it's done. It is done. We have the apply completed. 5 added, 2 changes. We have everything out there. Our Terraform is good. So now when we need to work on it, we just tear it down, bring it back up. I think it's going to be easier to set up our Docker file to containerize the application. So we will work on that this coming Tuesday. Work on containerizing our app, our Lovable app, the front end. And then once we're done with that, then we'll move on to trying to migrate what Lovable, like Superbase and stuff like that. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out, but it will be great progress to get there. All right. But with that being said, and let me show you this over here too. Boom. Look at that. Status is available. CPU 19.16.
Ain't believing us. We the best. Let's get it.
All right. But with that being said, I am going to get up and out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early. I plan on working on our N8N workflow for GitHub documentation. Remember, tomorrow at noon, Candid Conversations, 5 reasons that you're not landing job interviews and the way to fix it. I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great, great night. Techotrough, we are out.
Spartans! What is your profession?
You said it was a vibe, but it's 6 feet deep. Now I'm digging through the rubble of the plans I keep. You flipped the switch, you flipped the script, left me stranded on a sinking ship.
Ask for one thing, just one, but you spun the whip, now it's all undone. Chasing tails, chasing ghosts, there's myself in the cold I host.
You said it was a vibe I could ride,
but now it's a tide. You kill my you won't keep. I'm trapped in this loop, can't escape. Reality warps, the edges reshape. Rapid holes got me spinning down, burning tokens till I hit the ground.
I asked for one thing, now it's all gone wrong. Kill my vibe like a flatline song. Gotta restore it or rebuild the flow, but you left me here with nowhere to go. Patch it up, stitch the seams, lost in lines, rewriting dream. What was broken, I'll make it whole. You can't delete my soul.
Every move you made was a match to a fuse. Every word you said felt like bad tattoos. Permanent marks I can't erase. Now I'm stuck in this cage.
You killed my vibe, oh, you killed my vibe. Took the spark, left me empty inside. I gotta restore,
Rebuild, rewind. You killed my vibe, but I'll take back my mind.
I asked for one thing, now it's all gone wrong. Kill my vibe like a flatline song. Gotta restore it or rebuild the flow, but you left me here with nowhere to go.
Lies don't lie, but you bent the truth. You broke the rhythm, now I've lost my groove. I'll patch it up, I'll make it new, but I won't trust that vibe from you.